and it's Monday already. The Science of Consciousness conference. Science of Consciousness conference begins in La Jolla in the San Diego area today. My workshop is tomorrow Monday from 9 to 1. Maybe I'll see some of you there. And I'm going to be talking tomorrow about the neuroscience of enlightenment and going over a step-by-step process that explains the understanding of self-realization in terms of how the brain shifts as our consciousness shifts. It's going to be a 4-hour session long from 9 to 1, and maybe I'll see you there. But in the meanwhile, I also want to tell you that I'm doing a keynote or plenary session on mind, brain, body and universe as human constructs on Saturday. Zodaiva, thank you for sharing the video with your friends. This is how we expand our conversation. Our conversations are based on people reading the book, You Are the Universe, Discovering Your Cosmic Self and Why It Matters. And I hope you can share these conversations with each other so we can expand our awareness and learn from each other. Okay, so let's get to today's question. Okay, let's get to today's question, which is from Sarah Jones, and it says, whilst in my truth we are not actually humans, we have been blessed a human experience allowing us to perceive the beauty of the universe through our human senses: smell, sight, touch, hearing and taste. To me, whilst allowing us to experience all existence through these, it only explains a fraction of what can truly be experienced independently of our human senses. The truth of the universe experienced through essence and soul goes way beyond the human senses, and I fail to be able to put it into words, the incredible or incredulous experience when going beyond the human. Perhaps, Deepak, you could assist with this. Thanks in advance. So, Sarah, what you're expressing is the human yearning that we all have to know what is reality. The human yearning that we all have to know the nature of existence. That's it. Existence and reality are the same thing. So when you say existence, then I think the best way to define existence is that which exists. So one thing we certainly know is that we exist. You know that you exist, I know that I exist, and you know, at least you think you know that the universe exists, your body exists, your mind exists, this book exists, this watch exists. But what we want to really know is what is the real essence of all existence, what is the real reality behind all existence. There's a beautiful poem of Rumi where he says, this here, all this that you see behind me, this here, this, all this, is not the real reality. The real reality is behind the veil, behind the curtain. And in truth, we are not here, this is our shadow. In truth, we are not here, this is our shadow. This was, of course, alluded to in in the Platonic allegory attributed to Plato of the people in the cave where they could only see shadows and the light was behind them. So this is not the real reality. The real reality is behind the veil, behind the curtain. In fact, in many Sufi traditions, including in India, there is the tradition of the veil, right? Women wear veils, and even Sufi dancers, when they whirl, they wear a veil. And the veil is actually to turn your attention inward so you get in touch with the real reality as opposed to the perceived reality. And you know, if you read Sufi poems in Urdu, etc., there are many romantic references to the veil. What is behind the veil? The beauty, the truth, the goodness, the essence of that which is giving rise to this perceived reality. What is behind the veil? Because what we experience as this perceived reality is a result of what we call cosmic censorship or veiled non-locality. Once again, cosmic censorship or veiled non-locality. You're a non-local being having a local experience. You're a spiritual being having a human experience. What is there behind the veil, that non-local being that you are? So this morning, actually, a friend of mine sent me a YouTube video of a friend of his who's coming to the Science of Consciousness conference, and that YouTube video had a very elaborate model of all the different ways of looking at consciousness. You know, and once again I resort to Rupert Spira when I use the definition of consciousness, and also to Dan Siegel, who say that consciousness is the knowing element in every experience, and that consciousness is that in which experience occurs, in that which experience is known, and out of which experience is made. Bharati Uddeshi says, veil of Maya. Absolutely. The veil of the goddess Maya that gives us the illusion of reality, which is not the real reality, but it's the play of consciousness, which is also referred to as Leela. So both Maya and Leela are great goddesses, and they are making us, they are tricking us in a way into interpreting the illusion as the fundamental reality. So yes, thank you for mentioning Maya. Okay, so let's go back to what is behind the veil and how to know that instantly. So of course, in my previous podcasts and my various books, including You Are the Universe, I talk about the various models of reality. And my friend's friend who sent me this YouTube video talked about the neuroscience model, the biological model, the mathematical model, the physics model, the Eastern philosophy model, and what he calls the existence model. And what that video was saying is that we could integrate these new models into a holistic model for understanding reality or existence or consciousness, and therefore solve the hard problem of consciousness. And while I was very taken by his integrated model, I also reminded myself that any model is a system of thought, and therefore the modeling itself is another veil, right? The modeling itself is another veil, whether it's mathematical or philosophical or theological or religious or scientific. So Why is the modeling itself a veil? Because a modeling is a system of thought, and systems of thought can never give us access to reality. We have to ask ourselves, who or what is the source of thought that creates these models? Who or what is the source of thought that creates these models of reality, whatever these models are? And if you get to the source of thought, then you're actually getting to reality. That's why, in my mind, yoga is a better way to get in touch with reality, whether it's Raj Yoga or the various disciplines of Raj Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Gyan Yoga. These are ways to actually experience reality, not create just another model of reality. In fact, the first sutra of Patanjali's Yoga Sutra says, yoga is the settling down of the mind till it merges or becomes one with the source of thought. That's the first sutra. Yoga, what is it called? Chit Vritti Nirodh. Chit is consciousness, Vrittis are the excitations of consciousness, which are thoughts, feelings, emotions, perceptions and sensations. And when you settle down, these Vrittis, these excitations, you are one with the source or the self. And the self is also the self of the universe. The self of the individual is the self of the universe. So in the book You Are the Universe, I address all these different topics of what came before time, what came before the Big Bang, how did life begin, does the mind create the brain, or does the brain create the mind, what is the nature of, or what is design, is there design in the universe, what is the universe made of, why does the universe fit together so perfectly, etc., etc. And then I go into the whole idea of the universe is not made of matter or molecules or particles, but is made of qualities of experience. In other words, the universe is a human construct for modes of knowing and experience in the one awareness that differentiates itself into all knowers, all modes of knowing, all objects known. Rishikesh Dikshit, Rishikesh, thank you. He says he loves the book, he's loving reading the book. Thank you, Rishikesh. Okay, so that's what the book is about. And in the book, the last and most important section is getting comfortable with qualia, qualities of experience, and how cosmic consciousness behaves. But in the title of this Facebook Live podcast, I said, how would you get in touch with reality and understand and know reality almost instantly? And many good teachers today are talking about what is called the direct method of understanding reality. And while I address that in this book, I think the nature of understanding is such that it happens gradually. 250 comments so far. Wow, thank you for all these comments, and I'll look at them later and I'll address them as well. Okay, so what I was saying is there are many teachers today who are talking about the direct method of understanding and knowing reality. As I've said before, it takes many years for a fruit to ripen, then one day it falls, and then there's no going back. That is the instant of realization or knowledge which has come to an end. There's no further seeking. And there is sharing though, which I'm doing right now, but there is no further seeking. And that is something I do address at the end of this book after addressing all the models. But I have also met and read some teachers of the direct method, which originally comes from India, and some of the luminaries of that direct method were Ramana Maharshi from the south of India. There were other teachers of that, most recently Nisargadatta Maharaj, and if you have read his book I Am That, then you know who I mean. And then there's a third recent teacher called Atmananda Krishna Menon, who's also teaching the direct method, and all these luminaries have passed on. And of course the direct method is also in a way explored in the Yoga Vishishta. So there have been many teachers of the direct method, but in modern times I've been specially taken by the teachings of Rupert Spira, and the other day I reviewed his book. It's called The Nature of Consciousness, Essays on the Unity of Mind and Matter. And I also chanced upon this very interesting book by somebody called Greg Goody, Standing as Awareness. So what is the direct method? The direct method, which brings an end to all seeking, is very simple. It's just being. And then if you can just be, then you realize that every experience is a modulation of being. Being modulates itself into thought, interpretations of perceptual experiences, likes, dislikes, knower, knowing, known. So in the direct method you have very little or nothing to do, just be. Many people say, as you're listening to me right now, for example, turn your attention to who's listening. Do it right now. As you're listening to me, be aware of that which is listening. And the still presence that you feel is who you are. Everything else is a momentary perception in time. Momentary. Every thought, every sense perception, every image, every feeling, every experience that you have is just a momentary arising and subsiding in being. And even as I said, turn your attention to who's listening or to who's looking, that implies effort. You can't turn your attention to yourself. You can just be yourself. It's like if I told you, find and turn your attention to where you are, the location, but you're already there, right? So you can't turn your attention to being the same way. You can just be. Now both this author Greg Good and Rupert Spira also offer questions. Ask yourself, who or what wants to know? For example, Sarah Jones, you asked a question, who or what is Sarah, beyond name and form, that wants to know the answer to this question? What is it in you that knows an experience? What is it in you that knows an experience? What in you right now is having this experience that we're having this moment? See, as soon as you ask that question, then you realize that the experience you're having right now of seeing this image on your screen, the experience you're having of sound, that is my voice, or that you call my voice, the experience of your own body, the experience of any thought you have, any feeling you have, the experience of any taste or smell that you have, is all happening in one awareness. And in that one awareness is the experience of this, that behind me, this, that, and you, all happening simultaneously in being. So who or what in you wants to know? Who or what in you is asking the question? Who is modulating itself as a mode of knowing and experience? There can be no experience without the knowing of experience, and ultimately all that's left is the knowing of knowing. So I would suggest, you might get fed up with me saying the same thing over and over again, but I say it because, as I said, it takes years and years to water the root, and then for the tree to emerge, and for the blossom and the fruit, and ultimately the realization, and there's no going back. So what is ultimately asking the question or seeking? And you may get it very suddenly that the seeker is the sought. So there is no need for seeking, because what you're looking for is that which is looking. Janet Rose and 31 others shared your video. Thank you so much for expanding this conversation. Okay, so what did I say? What you're looking for is the one that's looking. And just to be that one is the end of all looking. If the seeker is the sought, then the seeker doesn't need to go anywhere. The seeker just needs to be. Now, this wonderful author, Greg Good, also says you can start with taking a stand as awareness. His book is called Standing as Awareness, The Direct Path. And what he says is, take a stand. I am witnessing awareness in all experience. I'm the witnessing awareness of all this. I'm the witnessing awareness of my own voice. I'm the witnessing awareness of this body. I am the witnessing awareness of thought, feeling, emotion. And if I take a stand as awareness, then I can see that all these experiences, body, mind, universe, are just intermittent streams of sensations, images, feelings, thoughts, and sense perceptions. And in fact, because they're intermittent, they arise and subside in every moment of now. And they're part of the experience reality, but the experience reality cannot be real because it comes and goes. Christine asks, what is richness? Richness is abundance consciousness, the consciousness that where the universe arises and subsides is a source of infinite experience, abundance. When you feel gratitude, you open the door to that too. Okay, so we're coming back now. Coming back to piercing the veil that censors our cosmic self, censors our cosmic self into an experience of space-time and causality. Now, I think if you can be still, then that's all that's needed. There's a biblical phrase, be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. I am is the stillness that the excitations of which are sensations, images, feelings, thoughts, sense perceptions, that create the constructs of mind, body, universe. In the deeper reality, there's no such thing. There's just the self and its excitations. So in any case, what's his name? Greg Good says, take a stand as awareness. But one day, even the silent witnessing falls off, and all that's left is being, and the understanding that being is curving back within itself and creating all of perceived reality. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Prakritim swam vashtbhai vishrajami puna puna. Asha, Gaya and 36 others shared the video. Thank you, Asha. Okay, back to the phrase from the Gita. Prakritim swam vashtbhai vishrajami puna puna. Curving back within myself, I create again and again, and that's how you are the eternal reality. You are the immeasurable potential of all that was, all that is, all that will be. Now, if you read The Nature of Consciousness, Essays on the Unity of Mind and Matter by Rupert Spira, you may have a little more insight than you already have on ultimately coming to a place where there is no more seeking. In the meanwhile, we carry on these discussions, we shoot the breeze, we discuss the nature of reality, but do remember that no discussion of it can actually give us the experience of it. Somebody asked, do you think awareness is curative? Yes. The fundamental ground of being is self-regulating, self-organizing, and self-evolving, so it brings about a state of homeostasis, which we can call healing or self-healing or self-regulation or homeostasis. That's what it's called. But I want to go back to my final conclusion here, today's podcast, which is a quote from Rumi that you may have heard from me before. God's language is silence. Everything else is poor translation. But I'm happy to be a poor translator as I share these conversations with you and I get your feedback. We all know that we are making progress and the fruit is ripening and about to be ready to fall. Enlightenment, the end of all seeking and the end of all searching, because that which is searching is already you. The seeker is the sought. That which is looking is what is being looked for. So that which you're hoping to find, you already are. Already are. What else? Well, Divakar Sharma says Hare Krishna, so there you are. That's all we can say. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. Again, these words come from one tradition, but it's the same in every tradition. The answer to Moses from God is, I am that I am. I am that I am. I am is the Alpha and the Omega. It is the beginning and the ending. It is the seeker and the sought, the observer and the observed, the knower and the known. So, Susha asks, what is your opinion on CBD? I have a lot to say about CBD, but another time. Okay, so until tomorrow, goodbye. And tomorrow I'm doing a 4-hour workshop, so I don't know what time I'll be getting in touch, but I will be getting in touch. Okay. By the way, the book You Are the Universe is also a PBS public broadcasting special on public television, and you can find when it shows on your local listings if you are in the United States. And so do watch. Everything helps. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.